Hejsa, how are you today? Today is a really grey and drizzly day in December, and it's the perfect time to work on photo albums. Do you make photo albums? So here's one I made just with random pictures that I thought sort of spoke to each other, like 2 pink pictures, 2 blue pictures, and then this is one picture. No, this is actually 2, but they look like they're the same. And this one I made in 2009, I think. So this is quite small. And then in 2010 I made a proper photo album, a photo book, I suppose you would call it, that goes through the year from January to December. After I made this one for 2010, it was my intention to make one for every year. But guess what? I didn't. The next album I made was from our trip to New York in 2018. Because I took so many pictures that I couldn't just cram it into an album for a whole year. So I had to make a separate album. But I didn't make one for just 2018 in general. And don't let this fool you. I did not make one in 2019. I made this after, because the next one I made was this one for 2020. And boy, was that a weird year, wasn't it? So this album then is full of sort of things like, so when we were finally out of at least one of the lockdowns, I went into London and I took pictures of various keep your social distance signs, both on the ground and on the station. One thing I regret is because the Tower of London was open at that point and there was no one going in there. I really regret not going in there. I would have had it all to myself. So this strange year was full of all these firsts after various lockdowns had ended. And things like going to the hardware store. It was the first time we went anywhere that wasn't a food store or a supermarket. So we live quite close to London, and usually all the time we get planes flying over because they're going into especially London City Airport, but also Heathrow, although that's on the other side of London from where we live. So there's always planes and there's always vapor trails. But I took this, was a composite picture of the sky one day when I walked our dog, and it really struck me how there was not a single plane, not a single vapor trail. Just showed how, well, locked down we all were. Right, so that was 2020. I guess I thought that because it was such a weird year that it deserved a photo album or photo book. And then I decided that I would go back and make one for 2019. And really it's my plan to go back further, but that's the furthest back I've got so far. So, but I have started making one for each year as we pass through them, which is actually really nice, so that I don't have to catch up. I mean, when I look through the album from 2010, some of the things I don't remember doing, and some places I have no idea where they are or why we went there. And I really wish that I had put some captions on the pictures like I've done for the albums that I've made in recent years. Just a little, I mean, nice cumulus cloud. Doesn't really say much really, but I don't know. Like we went to Southend-on-Sea and we had some ice cream and yeah, things like that. So I haven't got an album for 2023 because I'm currently working on it. I decided that I would try and make an album that covers 2 years, just to see if that makes more sense or whatever. And it's also a little bit cheaper, I think. And by now I have a sort of way of making my albums. So at the beginning of each year I make a folder in Google Photos. Obviously you can use whatever photo managing system you got going on your phone or whatever. And then around the 1st of each month I will go through my photos from the previous month, select ones that I want to put in an album or potentially put into an album, and they go in that folder. And then at the end of the year I download most of what is in that folder. I go through it and see if some of it I don't really want to put in my photo book. And sometimes I also go back through the year of photos and add some extra ones that I didn't pick when I was first going through them. And then I start making the photo album. So I think for all of them I've used a company called Blurb, which is a funny name. It's not an advertisement or anything, it's just what I happen to use, and I find it really easy to use. I think it's not perhaps the cheapest photo book print on demand place you can use, but whatever. and then I start putting it together. So I've set up in the program my own templates, and the one that I was trying to find an example of it. Oh yeah, here, this one, where I've got 3 by 3. But obviously not all photos will fit exactly into this format. So here, for example, let's see what's going on. Yeah, so this one goes across to, and it's actually a little bit taller than the sort of template. And then these two are also taller. And I put 2 other photos in there that fit in the space. I'm really enjoying having these, and so now that I've been working on the album that will cover 2023 and 2024, I think I've decided going forwards I want to start working on the album sooner, especially if it's going to cover more than 1 year, because to be honest, there's some things that I can't remember that we went to wherever place or why we went there or at the start of 2023, so it's probably best to start sooner. I think maybe if I start sort of in March or April, so that at the end of next year or even the year after, if I decide to do a double album again, that it's not a rush to do the whole thing in a short span of time. Not that there's any like real rush on it, but I usually get these albums printed whenever there's a good offer on them. Sometimes even 50% off, which is pretty good. So I want to try and have my album ready so that I can take advantage of any nice offers. So I just wanted to mention these photo albums, photo books, whatever you want to call them, and maybe inspire you to make your own. You don't have to be a graphic designer or anything to make these. I'm not. I just sort of put in pictures that I think will mean something, or that I will want to remember and look back at in years to come, with captions so that I know what was happening. And I was looking through the albums yesterday because I had the idea that I would make this video, and it was really nice to look through, and there's pictures of places I've been either on my own or with my husband, and there's pictures from a couple of years ago when we went to Denmark. We actually went twice, which is unusual. And there was pictures of my sister and her family. It was really nice to look back at that. And I suppose that's what photo albums are for, looking back at what happened in the past. So maybe you want to make some photo albums. And I would say, if you want to make photo albums, just start now, because if you wait, then you just have years and years to catch up on. Like, for example, what was that one I made? Oh yeah, 2019. And then I did make this one, but that was only one trip in 2018. So I need to go back and make 2018 and 17, 16. It's a good thing that, although maybe it seems kind of boring to just put pictures in a template or whatever, but I actually enjoy it. I guess it's editing. I enjoy finding the pictures that sort of encapsulates the time or the place or the experience or whatever, without too much that doesn't really help I don't know if you can call it a story, but that doesn't really tell you much. Although, that being said, I also really enjoy just let me see if I can find some pictures. Like, I like including pictures of things I made, or just a picture of some random embroidery thread on my desk. And of course there's loads of pictures of Blake, obviously. Maybe he should have his own album. And a nice bouquet of flowers. And in this one I actually left some empty space in various places. I don't do that anymore. I can't remember if I did in this one. Oh yeah, I did. I think my thinking is that I don't want any empty space. I want to fill up the pages with photos. And if the photo is a weird shape for the template, I want to sort of nudge things so that things will fit, or yeah. But I really enjoy that. And to me that feels really creative, even if it's a different type of creativity than making a quilt or doing some embroidery. Anyway, I hope this has been inspiration for you to get started on making some photo albums, photo books. Whether you do it like this, have them printed, or have the photos printed and then put them into albums. I think it's important to do it while you still remember what you actually took pictures of. Anyway, that's enough waffling. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please give it a like. I hope you have a great day, whatever you're making.